Hello and welcome to your first ever guitar lesson. Today I'm going to be showing you the basics of guitar, how to strum and play a few chords, and by the end of this tutorial you'll be able to play this. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. So stick around until the end of the lesson and you'll be able to play your first song. So to start off with, let me show you how to hold the guitar. So I've got it resting on my right leg because I am right-handed. That means I write with my right hand, so that's how I'll be strumming, with my right hand. So my arm comes over the guitar and just rests on it so that I can strum, and my other hand is free to play chords. So we don't want to be holding our guitar up, resting it like that. We want it to be sitting nicely on our leg. Now before we get started with playing, let me teach you a few more things. This is the body of the guitar that rests on your leg. Then we've got the neck and we've got the head. So on the head of the guitar, we've got our tuning pegs. That's these little silver things here. And they help us to keep the guitar in tune. Each of the strings we want to sound right. So in another video I've brought out before, I show you how to tune your guitar. We've got an E, A, D, G, B, E, in that order. So the low strings are closest to you and the high string is furthest away from you down here. Now the other thing that you need to know is that these are our frets. So there are lots of frets on the guitar, and when we play a note, if I play the first string, that's the bottom one here, it sounds like that. But if I press the second fret, so I count 1, 2, you'll hear that that sounds different. So where we play on the frets determines how the note sounds. Now when I'm playing on the frets, I want to be as close as I can to the silver lines, but not actually playing on the silver lines, because you'll hear it doesn't sound very good. And just as you might get a bit of buzzing if you're not close to the silver lines. So you want to be bringing it in, and the closer you are to the silver line, the easier it is to play because you don't have to push as hard, so it won't hurt your fingers as much. Now before we get into our chords and our song, let me show you how to strum. So you might want to use your thumb, the flesh of your thumb, to strum. Now this isn't the way that I normally strum, but as a beginner I found it really helpful to make sure that I was hitting all of the strings with my thumb. There are a few other options for how we can strum, so you might want to use your thumb, your nail of your pointer finger, or you can use a pick. Now if you have a pick, why don't you grab it now and see how you hold it. You'll have your pointer finger coming across and your thumb will be behind it, keeping it secure. So when you're strumming, then you're not going to drop it and it's not going to be too loose. So why don't you have a few tries at strumming with the pick and without the pick. And then without the pick. Now those notes don't sound very good right now, do they? But I'm going to teach you a few chords now that will help us to play a song. Now all a chord really is a combination of notes, but we're going to be playing some nice sounding chords that help us play a song. So the first chord that we're going to learn is an A major. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our pointer finger onto, count 1, 2, 3 strings up from the bottom, and it will be on the second fret. So 1, 2 on the second fret, and if you want to play that string, it should sound like that. Then we'll add our middle finger just above that, and this one's a little bit awkward to do, but as you practice you'll get better at it. Move your middle finger up onto the 4th string, so that's just up here on the 2nd fret, and that will sound like this. Now we're going to add our ring finger, this one over here, onto the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So if you count 1, 2, 2nd string there, so that's with our ring finger. So those 3 notes should sound like this. So you'll see that that's starting to sound a little bit better. So that's part of an A major chord. Now the whole A major chord is going to be playing from the 5th string down to the 1st string. So if I show you the strings here, it's going to be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 1 is our little string at the bottom here. So what we're going to be doing is playing from the 5th string, that's this one, all the way down to the 1st string, which is this one. So 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Now if you strum that all together, you should be able to hear every single note ringing out. Now if you're not playing in the right spot or you're not pressing hard enough, you might hear a bit of this. But if you're pressing it right, you'll hear. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that every chord we can hear every note. So making sure we're not playing the 6th string on this chord. So you shouldn't be hearing this note. So A major. Now the chord charts that are on your screen, they will help you to understand what chord you need to be playing. Now if you held your guitar up like this, you would actually see that the chord chart that I have on the screen for you is these 4 frets. And that will help you to understand the chord that you need to be playing. So our A major will be. So why don't you try strumming that 4 times? Then we're going to move on to a new chord. So we've got our A major, and now we're going to move on to our D major. So I want you to keep your pointer finger still on that 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So remember, we're counting 1, 2, and 3 strings. So that's 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Then you're going to add your ring finger onto the 3rd fret of the 2nd string down there. And then our middle finger finally on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. So you should hear these notes. So making sure you've got those notes ringing out. And this time we're going to play from the 4th string to the 1st string. So leaving out your 6th and 5th string. So it should sound like this. So you've got your A major, your D major. So try strumming that a few times. And then there's one more chord I'm going to teach you, and that's our E major. So we're going to take all of our fingers off now, and I want you to add your pointer finger onto the 1st fret of the 3rd string. So remember, 1, 2, 3, and 1st fret this time. Then we're going to add our ring finger onto the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So taking that across, that's our 2nd fret of the 4th string. Then your middle finger is going to come onto the 2nd fret of the 5th string, just above that. And for this chord, our E major, you'll play every single string. So have a few tries at strumming that. So we've got our 3 chords that we need to know for our first song, but the biggest challenge for learning these chords is not playing them by themselves, but when you combine the chords. So you play an A major and then you move to a D major, because you've got to get used to moving your fingers. And over time, as you practice this, your muscles will get a lot better at moving quickly into those positions so that you can do it really quickly. So starting on our A major. And then we're going to move on to our D major. So try and find the D major now, and then we're going to go 4 strums there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you might want to just practice and then try and move to the D major. And just keep on practicing that so that you can speed up as much as you can until you can do it a lot quicker. Now you don't need to do it that quickly for this song, but over time you'll want to practice so that you can get quicker with those chord changes. So A major, 4 strums. D major, 4 strums. A major, 4 strums. And then onto our last chord, E major, 4 strums. So it might take a bit of time and practice to get those ones, but just trying to work on your chord changes from A to D major. And then your A major to E major. So let me play the song for you now. D major, 4 strums. A major, 4 strums. E major, 4 strums. So I'll play it a little bit slower and try playing along with me. A major. D major, 1, 2, 3, 4. A major, 1, 2, 3, 4. E major, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's the chords that you need to learn for In the Jungle. So I'll show you that now. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. So I hope you've been able to follow along for this whole lesson. You should have your first 3 chords under your belt now, and you should be able to play In the Jungle. So keep on working on those chord changes. It's been great to be able to teach you today, and I'll have many more beginner tutorials just like this coming out for you soon that you'll be able to enjoy, so you can continue to learn new chords and new songs. But for now, I'll see you later.